I know it's when there's something different coming in the neighborhood, it's a concern.
I wasn't sure, but I didn't really care. I didn't care who moved in, as long as I got along with them.
I think that, you know, mostly it's just people are scared and they don't know what it's all about.
This neighborhood is very quiet. Most of the people on this street have lived here for 30 or more years.
So what were your concerns when you heard that people with disabilities were going to be moving in across the street?
My main concern was, since I do have small children, what their ages were, what their disabilities were, if they were going to be wandering the neighborhoods.
And we began a discussion about, well, if we really wanted to start from scratch, how would we develop housing and necessary services for people with disabilities who live at home? And very simple concept, well, let's have them live in houses, and houses in their neighborhoods, in areas of town of their choosing, where their support network was, where their churches were, where their friends were.
During the time when we were looking for houses, Sabina repeatedly said how important it was to her to remain in this area. A lot of the people in this neighborhood know her. She grew up here, she went to school here, she graduated from high school in Grandview.
And these houses had been purchased with people with disabilities and their family members who were going to live in it. We actually went house hunting together and acquired those properties. And they're in neighborhoods. They don't look any different than any other housing.
How about the neighbors? Good.
They're wonderful. We share parties and...
For so long, we have not allowed people with disabilities to participate. We put a fence around them. And really over the last decade, they've broken down that fence, and we're all richer for it because they're now an asset to our community rather than somebody that we felt we had to wall off and put away.
Did you know that you were going to have some neighbors with disabilities?
I didn't care who moved in, so, you know, that's why when everybody moved in, I came over right away. I think like the first or second day to introduce myself and to say hi to everybody.
How long have you been here?
Almost 2 years.
What do you think of it? Nice place?
Wonderful. It's a change from what I had before.
Well, we always say hi to each other when we see each other, and, you know, it's not any different than having any other neighbor. There's no difference as far as I'm concerned.
They're the same as any other family in a neighborhood that's rented a house, and they live together as a family unit. They control that property. As a landlord, I don't go in and out of there unless I get their permission. So it's their home, and it's not an operator's home. And assistance comes in and out of their home based on what they need.
Actually, this is one of the more independent homes. They prepare their own meals, they do their own laundry, they do their own shopping. So actually all I'm here to is just assist them in what they actually do on their own.
I think they're an asset to the neighborhood myself.
Why do you say that?
Well, they keep to themselves. They don't cause any trouble. They're not racing up and down the highway like all the young kids do. And I mean, they are friendly with the neighbors, but they don't bug the neighbors.
No.
So, you know, I think they're really nice.
Most of the things that I hear from neighbors are these folks going to be a threat to me or my kids? And well, the statistics bear out that people with disabilities are the most peaceful of our citizens. Matter of fact, we have a better chance with a person with disability as a next-door neighbor than maybe me.
What about people say, oh, if they move in, our property values are going to go down?
Yeah, well, that's what a couple of these people said.
Well, I'll tell you the truth right there. We've lived here since 1960, and my property values went up every year because I pay the insurance, and I should know, and it's still going up.
And we recognize the thing we really have to do, not only to make our tenants happy, but also our neighborhood happy, is renovation. So we may buy a property that's not the best in the neighborhood, but when we're done with it, it is. We make sure that we don't have dandelions in our front lawns. We understand that we're going to be subject to some scrutiny initially, but we know if we put the efforts on maintenance, on renovation, on lawn care, then then in the long run, it will be easier for the people that rent from us to be accepted in that neighborhood.
I can't imagine that anybody that would be acquainted with Sabina or with any of the young people or adults that have disabilities that are in any of the homes around here would have a problem once they got to know somebody. So I just think it's a matter of people getting to know people and becoming comfortable with them and just understanding that everyone can be a good neighbor.
Traditionally, what you may see happen in some communities is that people are, quote, devalued, all live in the same area of town. People with mental illness problems, folks with aging problems, people with disabilities are all asked to live together. And what we found is our housing's scattered all over a community. And it's in inner city neighborhoods, but it's in the suburbs. And it's where our customers want to live. And so we've scattered our housing based on that.
Creative Housing has purchased homes throughout various neighborhoods in Gahanna. And of course, then the residents there are able to enjoy being a part of these neighborhoods where people have learned to live together and want to live together, move there in order to live together and enjoy that richness of all of God's people there to help and talk and chat and visit with each other and care for one another and watch out after each other's dogs while somebody's on vacation and take in the paper when somebody else is gone. So it's a real blessing that we have so many people of all ages and races and religions, and thank heavens because of Creative Housing, many people with various handicaps living together in the way God intended.
Why do you think that there are some people who, when they hear that somebody with a disability is moving into their neighborhood, they just don't want anything to do with that person? Why do you think that is?
Stupidity.
Uneducated.
That's all it is,
They're very uneducated. They not living in this world today. Really, they don't quite understand their own blessings. This home runs just like our homes. The people go to work, and they come back, they cut the grass, and they keep it just like a home. So it's a family. This is a family in here. This is not a group home. This is a family. Those guys are brothers. And why would you not want to keep a family together in the same place?
I think at most times if you really sit down and make the effort to talk with people one-on-one, to provide information, to listen to their concerns, and then be responsive, a lot of that will go away over time.
We elected one person to be our spokesperson, and they went directly to the company that handles these houses.
Creative Housing?
Yes, to find out exactly who would be staying there, what the rules were, to find out how many people would be there, and just went with our questions, and they were very cooperative in answering anything we wanted to know. They were there to help.
We're just thrilled that Renee has her own home. She has roommates, she's independent, she's social.
Once we got to meet them and see, the house was totally redone, very well furnished and very taken care of. It pretty much put our minds at ease as far as what it was going to be like to have them here.
We love our street because there's no through traffic. We feel really warm. The neighbors always speak and wave at us. And
for this home to be here is just an answer to a mother's prayer. It's more than I ever thought we could find or have. I really thought I would be in my 80s and still needing to care for her.
Now that they're here, there's no difference in them than the person next door to me. I think they're a welcome part of our street. My children have had the opportunity to see people with disabilities up close, to learn that they are people. There's nothing that different about them.
I think I've seen a cycle when I run into people who have problems with us from them calling their attorney to kind of grudging, okay, we'll let this happen, to acceptance, and then some of them move beyond that to actually friendship with the folks that are living in the house.
I think if they just get used to them, get to know them, talk to them, they'll find out that they're really nice people.
You can't judge people by just looking at them. You gotta talk.
You gotta know
The
them.
more people talk this world right today, they'll outbid their own.
She just enjoys watching and being a part of the neighbors and a part of the neighborhood. She'd like people to come over and bring her a tray of cookies and say hi, bake some cookies and brought you some.
Just to see people living normal lives and seeing that they're happy, that we've given them a chance to participate. The problems have been so minor. Neighborhoods have been tremendously accepting, and if anything, the question we ought to be asking ourselves is, why didn't we start this sooner?